Write down what you love about yourself right now. All the great things about you right now, write them down. Hey guys, Vicky Lemons here and welcome to my channel. If you are new, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. I am so thankful to have you here. So in this video, we're going to talk about breaking generational cycles, breaking generational curses. What is even a generational cycle, a generational curse? That is any type of bad behavior, bad habit, abuse, anything that has held your family back, that has held your family back from progressing in a positive way, and not only held you back, but has been passed down from generation to generation in a negative form. It can be in the form of alcoholism. This can be in the form of domestic violence. This can be in the form of drugs. This can be in the form of teen pregnancy. This can be in the form of physical abuse, sexual abuse. It can come in many forms. And the thing about generational curses and generational cycles is that sometimes it's been going on for so long. Most of the time, the people in the family don't even see anything wrong with it because it's been a part of their life for so long. However, there are some of us who grow up to want to be better, want to do better. We realize that that way of being is not the best way, even if it's just for us as the individual, and we want to make steps to change that. Well, how do we do that? How do you become different than the way you were raised? What do you do? Where do you start? How does this even take place? Well, I'm going to tell you in this video. Number one, you have to identify the cycle. What is the cycle or curse that has been passed down through your family? Is it domestic violence? Is it alcoholism? Is it drugs? Is it sexual abuse? Identify what is it, the cover up of sexual abuse. Identify exactly what the generational curse or cycle has been in the past. Where do you start? Once you've identified what the generational curse or cycle has been in your family, next you need to figure out how can you start bettering you? How can you start changing your family if you already have a family? How can you start changing you so that when you do have a family, you can create the family that you want to have? Here's how you start. Write down everything that happened to you that was negative. What did you hate being done to you? How did you hate being spoken to? Were you hit on? Were you slapped around? Were you talked to in a demeaning manner? What did you experience that you did not like as a child? Write those things down. Next, I want you to write down what you think right now could have been done instead of the behavior that was given to you as a child. So if you were physically abused, for example, you may say something like, I wish I was just spoken to more about the ramifications of my actions. I wish someone just took the time to explain to me why I shouldn't have done this and what the consequences would be. Or maybe I wish I would have been taught to have discipline in a non-physical way. That might be something that you write down. The next thing you're going to do is the things you wrote down first, the things that happened to you that you wish didn't happen to you. That's your boundaries. Those are the things you're not going to do. Those are the things that you're not going to push forward to your family. Those are the things that you're not going to keep transferring over into the next generation. Those are the things that you're going to stop. They are going to stop with you. Those things will stop with you today. The things you wish that would have been done or could have been done, those are the things that you're going to build on. Those are the things that you are going, that's your starting point. You are going to start right there with recreating a new generation of positivity, a new generation of doing things a different way. It's not too late to start. Even if you already have children and you have been behaving in a certain way that is maybe not in the best way, it's not too late to start. Now, here's the thing with that. If you have already been passing down the generational curse or the generational cycle, it's going to take a lot more time for you to be in that positive mode of change before it's believed that you have changed, because we believe what we see, right? And over time, we build trust, right? And to build trust, we do what we say we're going to do, and we don't do what we say we're not going to do. So we build trust by keeping our word. So if you're someone who's been physically abusive to your children, well, they're not going to believe that you are trying to change if you keep hitting them. So the longer you go without hitting them, the more they will believe that you won't hit them. So we have to build back trust. And that can be done, by the way. You can go from someone who maybe spanks their child to not spanking their child. Now, I will say this, it will take time, it will take effort, it will take patience, but we'll get into that. Just accept that the way the people you have encountered have experienced you in a certain way. And now it is up to you to make the change for them to experience you in a new way. And that is going to take some time for them to be convinced. But you set inside your space in your heart that you are changed. You are making a better effort to be a better you. If you don't have children already, you have a fresh, clean slate. Now, sometimes our children trigger our past emotional trauma. So once we have them, we don't realize how things affected us until we are put back into that situation. So I will say that if you don't have children, yes, you have a great fresh start. But don't be alarmed if certain things trigger past trauma. Use what was meant to break you down, that generational curse, that generational cycle. Use that to make you stronger. Now you are more knowledgeable in the ways that people who do that particular thing operate. Now you are more knowledgeable in the way people who have received that type of treatment feel. So use that to help someone else. Use what was meant to hinder you and to stop you to help someone else. And in return, that will help build you. That will help heal you. Forgive. You have to forgive. You have to forgive you first. Number one, you have to forgive you for not being strong enough when you needed to be, for not being wise enough when you needed to be, for allowing certain people to do certain things to you. Forgive you first. And then you have to get to a place where nothing they say or nothing they do will hurt or bother you. Okay? Nothing they say or nothing they do will hurt or bother you. And what I mean by that is anyone who has caused you harm, anyone that has caused you pain, anyone that has violated you, you have to forgive them. Now, forgiveness does not mean to bring them back into your world. Forgiveness means nothing they say or nothing they do hurts or bothers me. Get to a place where what they say and what they do doesn't affect or bother you. What they say and what they do doesn't affect or bother you. Forgive them. Forgive them with your whole heart. You cannot move forward if you are walking with resentment, walking with hate, walking with anger. You have to let that go, or it will hinder you from truly letting go those generational curses and starting new generational traditions. Everybody won't like you changing. They will probably laugh at you. They will probably think that you think you're better. Let me tell you a little story. When my husband was deployed, we traveled back to our home state for a little vacation. And I would always bring my laptop because my husband and I, we read to our children at night. And my husband, even though he was deployed in Iraq, he wanted to continue to share in our readings. So I would bring my laptop, so when it was nighttime where he would still read to the children. And we had a friend of the family one time see this, and she laughed and she laughed and said, "Y'all are so corny." And I thought about that, and it made me realize that, wow, how sad is it that someone can think that a father thousands and thousands of miles away from his children still takes the pride of wanting to just read his children a bedtime story. How could someone take that and call it corny? What a sad place to be in life, right? But that's not something that that person was used to seeing, okay? That person was a single mother whose child's father was not involved in their world. This is something new. People will laugh at you. People will talk about you. They will think that you think you are better than them because what you are doing doesn't look like anything that they have ever experienced. And that's okay. It doesn't need to look like anything that they have experienced. That's the point, right? Guess what? Opening their eyes to new things, to new ways of being, is just planting seeds. It's showing them that it's okay to do things that others aren't doing. It's okay to raise your family in other ways. It's okay to break generational curses and cycles. Create the family you wish you had. That's how I began my motherhood journey. Claire Huxtable. I can't think of her name, but the mom on 227, Marla Gibbs's character. I can't think of her name, but I'll put it on the screen. But I mimicked in the beginning mothers that I wished were my mothers. And then as I grew into motherhood, I just hung around moms that I felt were good moms. And over time, I'm the wonderful mom I am today. And I take pride in saying that. I take pride in knowing that everything that I wasn't given has now translated into me giving to my children. I give my children what I lacked because they deserve better than I had. They deserve the best that I can give, even if I didn't get it. You don't have to be that person. You don't have to be that person that's carrying on that generational curse, that generational cycle. You don't have to be that abuser. You don't have to be that addict. You don't have to be that person. That's not you. You don't have to be that. It doesn't matter if all your uncles were alcoholics. It doesn't matter if your mom was pregnant as a teenager. You don't have to be that. It can stop with you. Thank you for every positive step you take in the right direction. Every time you do one thing that is in direct opposite of the way you were raised, trained, and the thought processes you grew up with, every time you make a conscious effort to change that behavior and you are successful, be thankful and thank yourself. Say out loud, you know what? I could have really gone off on my children, but I took time to go into my room, to bring my thoughts together, and to have a civilized conversation with them when I was done. I am so proud of me. And if you didn't have a successful moment, learn from it and then do better next time. Start small. You won't change overnight. You will not change overnight. The same way, all these things didn't happen to you overnight. You won't change overnight. So start small and celebrate every success. Get therapy. I am a huge advocate of therapy. I think therapy should be given to everyone, whether you think you need it or not. But get therapy even when you think you don't need it, because you will be surprised how we suppress so many things and we think so many things are normal when they're not. Also, therapy is refrained from in a lot of communities, because then the secret comes out about the creepy uncle, right? Or the stepdad who's touching the daughter, or whoever, right? So it brings embarrassment to the family. Well, that should not be at the cost of you. You deserve to have your voice heard. You deserve to heal. And therapy is a great place for that. Start doing new things. Start creating new habits. Like I said with the reading, I wasn't read to growing up, and my husband wasn't read to growing up, but our children are avid readers, and they are because we created that from the time they were in my womb. Everything we do, the family we are, is not in replica of the families that we were raised by. And I'm not throwing shade anywhere. All I'm saying is we created what we have. You can't fix anyone but you. The things that went wrong in your family over years and years, you can't do anything about that. But you can do something about you. You can do something about how you respond to things. You can do something about that drink that's going in your mouth. You can do something about that cigarette you're smoking. You can do something about being promiscuous. You can do something about you. You're training you. You're raising your family. You have to you've already been raised. And when we're breaking generational curses, we've already been raised. Now we have to retrain our thought process. But when we're starting families and creating families after going through trauma and things, we need to now raise our children the complete opposite of the way we were raised. So we raise them, but we have to retrain us. And that's a hard thing to do. It takes constant, conscious effort, but it can be done. You retrain you. You start to raise your children the way you wish you would have been raised. Constant, conscious effort. Be patient. You have to be patient with yourself. It is not going to happen overnight. You are going to get it wrong sometime. But guess what? Every step forward is a step you made. You made the step forward. Okay? Find time to appreciate that moment and then grow from it. And then the next time, take 2 more steps. But be patient with yourself. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen over time. There is no shame in expressing your experience. Some people will get upset when you start talking about the wrong that was done to you, about the lack of parenting, about the abuse, about anything that makes them feel bad about themselves. Them feeling bad about themselves is not your problem. You need to fix you. This is how you experienced them. If they wanted you to have better things to say about them, then they should have made the experience with you better. It is not your responsibility to worry about their shame and their guilt. It is your responsibility to heal from the trauma that these people allowed to happen to you. You are not broken, and it is not too late to fix whatever is going on with you. Whatever generational curse, generational cycle has been going on, it is not too late to fix it. You are not broke. When we go through things like that, it is meant to destroy us. But when we overcome it to become. It's so we can become better parents. It's so we can become better partners. It's so we can become better people. So we can share, so we can educate, so we can love. You're still here and you're watching this video for a reason. Despite that cycle, despite that curse that has taken generation after generation down, it has destroyed so many people in your family, but it didn't destroy you. That's because you can make a difference. You can be the chain breaker. I am my family's chain breaker. I broke the chain. Now you go break your chains. Create the family you want, even if that family is just you. Create the family you want. You don't have to be your past trauma. You don't have to be the way your family is if that's not the way you want to be. You don't have to do anything like you did when you were being raised if that's not how you want to be. You choose. It's your choice. You create the foundation for what you feel is the best way for your family to be raised, for your family to be loved on, for your family to be cared for. And I guarantee you, once you do, you will be so proud and so happy with yourself, and you will feel so accomplished. And the most, can I share something with you? When I see the way I've parented my children reciprocates back into me in the way that they love me, in the way that they speak to me, in the way that they respect me, I am so thankful that I have broken the chains. And I'm so thankful that my trauma and my abuse and my hurt is only a story from me to them. It's not part of their story. So, as always, guys, I hope this message has helped. I thank you for watching, and God bless.